Hi, this is Veronica with Star Garden Love. I wanted to show you and share my craft space. I had recently spent a lot of time looking on YouTube at other crafters' space and always feel inspired to see how people organize. And so I wanted to share my happy place, and so just kind of a brief overview, and then I'll go and kind of explain and share about the space. So the furniture in here actually came out of my aunt and uncle's storage, and my grandfather built these for my aunt and uncle. So they had been in storage and my aunt had used them over the years. I think he built them in the early 60s, mid 60s. And so he made them all by hand, and so my dad and I, we painted them and got new hardware for them. And so they've been in here for the past about 4 years, and I absolutely love them. I'll rearrange occasionally. So I got this cart from IKEA a couple months ago, and this is kind of where my current projects go. So I had been refinishing some some cushions for the outside, so that's why all the sewing stuff is out. And then I just finished a baby blanket for one of my sorority sisters' babies that was just born, so that'll go out tomorrow. So a lot of times this is kind of the current projects that I'm working on. I added these 2 shelves last year, and so I have just little knickknacks that I like to look at. So here's my washi tape. This is a bead project I need to do, wrapping stuff, some paper punches. These are some really cute crocheted hearts that I've made. I keep some scrap ribbon here, just if I'm working on a project and I want a little something. There's a black and white picture of Godiva I took years ago in a photography class that I took, and then my ribbon and pictures and just some little things that I love. My aunt painted that, and I just love it. Makes me happy. And then diplomas. And this is, I have kind of 2 working spaces. So I have this and then this space. So if someone comes over and crafts with me, I'll bring another chair. Or if I'm working on one project and then need to kind of switch hats and study or do some kind of business errand or something that requires more space for one of our businesses, we use that. And so here I kind of leave out the things that I use on a regular basis. So glue, tape, scissors, a really old iPod that still works, so it's kind of nice to listen to. I just finished organizing these bins with some card organization. I have another video. You can see a little more about that. I always like to kind of have a candle on when I'm working. Unfortunately, this is where all the electrical stuff is plugged in. I wish it wasn't here, but yeah, what are you gonna do? And then this is my pen caddy. So I have all the different pens that I like to use. So I have some of my markers and gel pens and all the different kind of permanent pens that I use just in the different kind of crafting, just depending on what kind of different project. But I really like just having it out to kind of grab and see what colors I have. I have this tote that I use. I'm making a big king-size bedspread, crocheted, and so that's been in the works for years. Paper shredder. I had this whiteboard that we actually cut and made these edges. I made that with my dad one year. And just kind of jazzes it up a little bit. And then behind the door I crochet, and so as I came up with this idea to kind of organize the different yarns and things. I normally, if I'm working on a project, will take them and take the yarn and kind of put them in a different bag, but I use this for just kind of the overflow or the stuff that I just love, or, you know, you always have to have more yarn than you need. So here, this is kind of my working space. So this is where I pay bills, or if things need to go out. This is kind of my working area. And then I have binders. I can kind of talk about that in another video. And here I have, these are great books that I love to reference for different craft projects. And this is my favorite. So I have my craft closet. So I have a bunch of bags that I love to use. I tend to travel with craft projects. So if I'll go to a friend's house or over to family, I'll bring crocheting stuff or card making things. So I have my paints in here. I do a lot of, I used to do a lot more baking, but now not so much. But I have all the candy and extracts and piping bags. And here I have cookie cutters. And these are just kind of other projects. I use a lot of totes or shoe boxes or plastic containers to kind of organize things, just that I can kind of grab and go. So I've labeled these with the different things that I use for different projects. So paper and puffy paint and knitting and Post-its and soap. And I organize my stamps that have words on this, or some of the bigger wooden stamps. I'll show you the other side. So up top here, more shoe boxes labeled with the different projects. So if I'm making cards, I'll take out the 2 boxes that have the cards. I'll take out the ink pads. I'll take out the stamps. I kind of just pull what I need depending on what project I'm working on. And then I have, here's kind of just like my catch-all for the miscellaneous projects I'm working on. And I actually had, so this is the ribbon that I use more for gifts, so around the holidays or for wrapping presents. And a very special person actually had that made for me as a gift for helping address some cards for her last year. And then I have some paper organized here. I do use this big tote, and that has all our holiday and wrapping paper. And here I have just kind of reference books and notebooks and some photo albums in here, and then some brown butcher paper that I use to wrap gifts or for projects, or if I'm painting, I'll roll that out so everything doesn't get messy. I can just kind of toss it when I'm done. Here's a better view of how I organize some of the stamps. And so when I'm working with stamps, I'll just kind of pull this out so I can see the ones that have different words on them. So that's the closet. And here I actually have, this was a baby blanket that my great-grandmother made. She was an amazing quilter, so much so that she would judge competitions. And so this is one of my baby doll blankets that she gave me that I just love it, and it inspires me to create and sew and do things. And so that's kind of my craft space. I hope that it helps and inspires you to create and organize and find joy in crafting and DIY projects. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment or leave some information below. And I look forward to having more videos and sharing with you, and hope you have a great day. Thanks for checking out my video. Bye.